Hello, friends. I'm Heron, and I'm going to talk to you today about how I use the logical part of my brain to be more creative. In the meantime, I'm going to draw the second in the series of 24 Strawberry Squid stickers. For those of you who aren't yet close friends of mine, and I do hope we become friends, you might be surprised to know that I used to be a software developer. I have a bachelor's degree in data science, which is sort of halfway between math and programming. I love math, formal logic, and statistics, so why the heck am I drawing a cartoon squid? Well, for one thing, the idea that there are logic-minded people and creative-minded people is sort of a modern concept. Historically, many famous creative professionals were also scientists or mathematicians. Leonardo da Vinci both painted and invented fantastical machines, some of which actually worked. René Descartes, the father of modern philosophy, a great writer, was also a great mathematician. Science fiction novelist Isaac Asimov wrote history textbooks and had a master's degree in chemistry. You may watch a cinematic masterpiece or gaze at a great sculpture and think, this is so creative. How did they ever come up with this? But the real secret behind any creative industry is that there is a logical backbone to everything we do. A formulaic set of rules which we study and learn how to combine to create certain effects and emotional responses. If you think you aren't creative enough to make art, there's a good chance you just don't know the rules yet. When it comes to visual art, I could go on and on for hours about color theory, composition, shape, but a lot of people have already said it better. So instead, I'd like to talk about the very core of creativity, brainstorming. Long before the brush hits the canvas, concepts are running through an artist's mind. For some, this part takes place entirely in their head, but for many people, myself included, brainstorming happens with a pencil and paper. Some people spend weeks or months sketching out different composition ideas before they begin painting. Personally, a lot of my brainstorming process comes from what I learned when I studied advertising. When I was 19 years old, I spent a semester at VCU, and the Advertising 101 class blew my mind. Most of the class was just learning how to come up with creative ideas. Some days we would spend half of the class playing word association games. We'd start by writing down the topic, then whatever words randomly popped into our heads, and then words associated with those words. Eventually, we would make connections between them and try to find something that sounded interesting. Sometimes we'd write down a stream of consciousness, whatever came out of our head. Other times we did a round-robin exercise where we had to come up with a story by each person in the group saying one word at a time in a circle. But the most important aspect of each exercise was learning how to think freely, or rather, unlearning the way that we normally think in our day-to-day lives. In everyday life, creativity often isn't desirable. Do you want to be creative with how you brush your teeth or how you drive a car? Probably not. So without consciously intending to, we humans often shut down our subconscious throughout the day. We get into the habit of checking ourselves when we have thoughts which seem unrelated, intrusive, childish, or silly. So in order to learn how to brainstorm, we need to practice thinking and behaving more like a child. Was that idea you just had stupid and unrelated to the conversational topic? Perfect, let's hear it. It just might be the key to the puzzle. So how do we get better at being creative? Practice, practice, practice. Practice brainstorming. Practice being silly, spontaneous, and thinking more like a child. Practice doing joyful, whimsical things that are out of the ordinary. Practice thinking in a different way and giving yourself permission to be creative. So today, no matter how logical or uncreative you might think your brain is, I challenge you to try doing some creative brainstorming. You just might be surprised what you can come up with when you give yourself permission to think outside the box.